We are live from MATS.
Finally.
Finally. Yeah. It seems like we've been here for a week.
It's been 84 years.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
It's been a long time. So we are here for Freight Movement.
Yes.
Freight Movement. So we've got a pretty epic little setup. It's surprising how small a 20 by 20 space can get.
It really is.
When you're surrounded by people. We've got a lot of people around here. We're partnered with Freight Ninja and the Logistics Lounge guys, and MATS is actually packed for Thursday.
I'm surprised. The attendance is tremendous.
It's always kind of crazy, but I think it's a little bit of a collapsed space this year. They cut down one of the halls.
Yeah, they re-engineered a little bit, so it's definitely more compact.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more compact and it's funneling everybody through. Plus, we're on a pretty big traffic lane out here. And you just get this massive amount of people walking by us.
You've got the maintenance and repairs group that's kind of to our right. We're facing the camera, and then you've also got the recruiting areas to the left. So really, this is like driver row essentially.
Driver row and the Kentucky State Patrol, which
which is they're directly across from us. So, and then we've also got the beer garden down like 4 blocks away.
Yeah. Uber's got the beer garden. And we're gonna have Uber Freight on here in just a minute.
We are,
and he didn't bring beers. I'm disappointed.
You gotta assume maybe he doesn't have alcohol permits. It's a big thing here in Kentucky, so maybe that could be the issue.
Right, could have been the issue, but I figured. We've known the guy for a long time.
Pour it in bond and let it ride.
Figured out how to bring it here.
I'm saying that's what Uber does. They create solutions, and I don't feel the solution being created.
Yeah. The Power Loop solution did not figure out how to bring us beer.
Yes, but that's okay.
So disappointed.
We'll talk about other cool stuff that Power Loop's doing. Fun fact for those who don't know, I actually ran the Power Loop group for a short time at Uber Freight.
For a hot minute.
I did, a very hot minute.
Yeah. So, so far, MATS has been a logistical nightmare. So,
it's been interesting. Like I'll play politician a little bit.
Okay.
We got here. I think that we had a plan, and as always, the best laid plans go awry.
Yeah.
We had our space was generally set up for us, and then when we returned, it had been adjusted by the folks here at Freedom Hall, and so that kind of threw us a little bit. And then as we were getting things set up, then we find out that maybe not all of our internet was set up properly. And so, by the way, you're getting a bill for that switcher.
Yeah.
So, figure that stuff out. But as always, you improvise, adapt, overcome. But what was great is that now we've got everything set. Like, we really have a sick setup. Like, we've got this booth here, which is awesome. There's a ton of content that's going to be coming out of here. We have our private section right to our left. And that's really for like more one-on-one, more intimate interviews. We'll be doing throughout the event, a little shorter, 5 to 10 minutes. We've got a networking area up to our in front of us to our left, and then we've literally got an audience. We have camping chairs set up, so this is perfect, where we can really have kind of a community here, which is the whole point of Freight Movement.
Yep. The next evolution of this is going to be figuring out speakers so people can listen without having to dial in.
Yes,
and do that. So we'll be figuring that out. We've already talked to partners for next year about doing this even bigger. So going larger, figuring out a bigger space that we can create an ecosystem to add on more, make it bigger, make it more fun, more interesting. But it's been a blast. We have a place to sit down.
We do.
Grab a glass of water, drink, grab some candy, sit down and chat and talk about the industry. So it's been a blast.
Which we've already been doing.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
It hasn't stopped, and it's we only have 3 hours left.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah, the day's just gone by quick, and tomorrow, bigger day. Obviously, Friday, Saturday being the biggest day. But,
yes,
I still need to get outside and see the trucks too.
We saw a couple. But there's more pulling in since we've been in here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, geez. So, definitely glad I didn't go. But, tomorrow we'll get out there. We'll get some pictures. I've got my daughter working the camera over here. She's not looking at us.
No, she's not.
They're not even paying attention.
Very, very 16, 17-year-old into their phones. They're on the TikToks.
Yeah, all on the TikToks. But she's been running around. She took a bunch of pictures already. We'll get her out working the trucks.
Thanks, Luna.
Hi, Luna.
Wow, nothing. Not a thing.
Not a thing. So... But all right, so let's what's on the agenda this evening?
So this evening we've got a couple things going on. We've got one dinner.
Well,
Always gonna have dinner. Oysters as always.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about dinner last night. Doc Crows. Right?
Yeah.
Doc Crows.
This has become our spot when we're here.
Always.
Yes. So incredible whiskey selection.
Yeah.
Thousands.
Of
Yes, and then oysters, and they're solid oysters, and we get them by the dozen, and we plow through them by the dozen.
Right. 36.
Yep. So it was exceptional, and then their roasted chicken is it is to die for. It is phenomenal food. So I cannot recommend them enough. We got very lucky. We got in pretty quick last night because we had a big group.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll do the same thing again tonight, but now we're excited for that. And then we've got
speaking of that, Mela Farina, you're not here yet.
Yeah, Jenny.
What's going on? You're not going to make it for dinner tonight.
I don't think so. No, if you haven't left Cleveland yet.
So that's not happening, and we're not waiting for you. So we're going for round 2 without you. You're supposed to be on the show, right?
She is.
So you're supposed to be.
Things happen. So life happens. Yeah, then we've got Truck Parking Club. We've got their event tonight.
Well, that's Reed.
It's Reed. I'm sorry. Please advise.
Please advise tonight. Yeah. So we'll be there.
So I'll be the Freight X crew with the Please Advise
folks.
That's
right next to Doc Crows.
Exactly.
So we don't have to stumble very far.
And then guess what? Our hotel is 2 doors down.
And then we stumble.
Yes.
Yeah. Two doors down.
I will stumble up to my ridiculous room.
Feet. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got that big room that we did the recording in last night. So that should be fun. So tonight will be great. Tomorrow, we of course have a lot of recordings to do. We have a great show lined up tomorrow. Every day we're live, 2 p.m.
Yep.
We're not sure if we're going to just do an hour live session tomorrow. We might go longer because we have a pretty big crew lined up. So Saturday also live 2 p.m.
Correct.
Tomorrow night we have our freight movement event at 9 p.m. Tavern on 4th. We'll drop a link to the Eventbrite sign up. So if you are in Louisville, swing on by. We have some room. Not a lot of room.
Not much left.
But we do expect a lot of people to show up just randomly. If you're not on the sign up, you're going to get priority if you are on the sign up. So,
and we've got an expert door person.
Right.
They're going to make sure that if you're on the list, you get in. And
and she's not going to let you in.
No, she's pretty strong too.
Yeah. She's going to be making sure that, if you're on the list, that's the priority.
Absolutely.
So sign up on Freight Movement's Eventbrite for the Louisville event Friday night, 9 p.m.
Yes.
All right. So let's bring in Jeff.
Yeah.
So Jeff, why don't we have you come grab a chair here? So this is Jeff Resch. Jeff is with Uber Freight, specifically the Power Loop solution. And as he's getting settled in here, Jeff, when you can, you want to eat the mic here.
Right.
Eat the mic, huh?
Eat the
mic. Am I close enough?
There's another radio voice. I'm with it. Man.
Yeah.
I got a radio
works.
voice?
Yeah. Face radio too.
I got the face for radio.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
Thanks
Jeff,
for that compliment.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Fully.
We can smell a rose.
So appreciate you coming on, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
really
definitely. Do a quick intro. Tell us about yourself, a little history, and what you do for Uber.
Yeah, my name is Jeff Resch. Been in the trucking industry since 1996, so do the math on that.
Yep,
a long
forever.
time.
Yeah, you're old.
Yeah, I got gray hair like
yeah,
you know.
We're right there. Yeah,
I got 1 pound per year.
Yeah,
no, 2. I think I'm 2 pounds per year.
2 pounds a year. I'm probably a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm a little ahead of that too. That's a whole different animal.
But all joking aside, been in the trucking industry since 1996. I was at Dart Transit for the longest time.
Yeah.
That's where I got to know some of your colleagues here at GLCS, Mike Turner.
Yeah.
And that was kind of where I kind of cut my teeth. Did that for 17 years. Had pretty much every role, in the organization. Moved on to run a small trucking company down in Rochester. And then, like many of us, and, I think, a lot of the owner operators can appreciate this, and, the business, managers and owners. I had a 3-year-old, and she was like, and I drove down to Rochester every day. It was about an hour and a half from the Twin Cities. I'm from Minnesota.
Right.
And my daughter said, "Hey, where are we going? Are we going to Daddy's house?" So that was a Father of the Year moment in my life.
That's an eye opener.
Yeah, that was an eye opener.
And maybe I can relate to those statements. So,
you might.
I get
I honestly, I think a lot of us can relate to that statement.
It comes with the industry.
It does.
And yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there, from there, basically found my way over to Uber Freight. Been here for 2 years, and it's been fantastic.
It's been 2 years already.
It's been
that's
2 years last week.
And now you've been with the Power Loop Group since
day one.
So, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So Alyssa Corial brought me on to Uber Freight, and for those who don't know Alyssa, she's fantastic. She's on a number of podcasts here this week as well. And she was my customer at Niagara Bottling since 2007. And, and we just kind of, hit it off. We're working through some big problems that they had. And it was fun. When you work through problems and, innovation, you become good friends over time. So she's like, "Hey, Jeff, want you to come over to Uber Freight. We're trying to do something that no one's really figured out yet." And I came on to the Power Loop operation, which is basically it's a trailer. So like we own and lease trailers, and basically you're taking that trailer and associating it with a brokerage operation.
Right.
The best way to kind of think of it is like it's like Uber, right? So Robert, you're the ride.
Yep.
You're like, I go onto the app and say,
on the ride.
Yeah, you're on the ride, right? It's a slow ride, but a ride nonetheless. But anyway,
slow and strong.
Slow and strong. That's right. But anyway, so you're the ride. So like you go onto your app and say, "Hey, I need to get from point A to point B."
Yep.
Great. Go on the Uber app, and I'm the driver. I got my Ford Pinto. Yep. Coming to pick you up, and we go make it, bring you to wherever you need to go.
You're gonna answer everything I say with "hell yeah, brother." It's gonna be great.
Hell yeah. So with this Power Loop operation, so basically the trailer's the ride, and the truck is the car.
Yep.
So we're putting those two things together, and one of the things that we're doing here at MATS is we're really trying to promote this dedicated tour operation that we have. So basically, we got that trailer, we got the truck, we're putting them together. We're using AI optimization, with a company called Optimal Dynamics.
Shout out to
yeah.
Very familiar with this.
Yeah. And basically what we're doing is we're saying, as an owner operator, come onto our system, and basically what it's going to do, it's going to say, "Hey, we've optimized these 3 loads. Do you want them, yes or no?"
Right.
If they say yes, bam, they get sent out to them. They use our trailer, so it's a power-only solution.
Yep.
And then they just kind of keep rotating on that. So I kind of been passionate about this topic for a long time. Tried doing something at DART back in the day, but you really need a strong technology play to kind of figure this out. But anyway, that's my 10-minute version of.
I don't know about 10 minutes. That was more like 3.
So what I love about that is that I mentioned earlier before you jumped on. For a hot minute, I ran the Power Loop Group at Uber Freight.
Oh, you did?
Yes. I'm also an Uber alum. And that was still when it was the piecemeal. It was all right. Basically, we were in Texas. So you had the Texas Triangle. But at each individual run, you had to click on it. So it was super interesting to watch as it's evolved to now you've got multiple locales. Now it's going into region. And now you've got these dedicated tours where certainly you want to keep the capacity captive. But now you've got the density of freight to actually do it.
Yeah, and the hardest thing is all the truckers out there know this. The hardest thing to do when running an asset is, number one, you got to keep it moving all the time and producing revenue. And number two,
the wheels ain't turning, not making money.
Yeah, your wheels got to be turned. It costs a lot of money to have an asset.
It does.
So like when we kind of kicked it off and back in the day, doing a lot of short haul freight.
Yeah.
Well, it requires a lot of trailers. There's very little margin. So the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, everything has to be perfect. And the bottom line is you almost have to. It almost forces you to run over the road because now you got more margin. You can spread out your costs over longer distance. No different than trucking.
Right.
So we're taking kind of the trucking chops from my history,
Right.
applying them to this technology and this innovative company, and we're trying to put the two together.
Right. Right.
No, I think that's a great tool. It's giving you guys being a larger entity with the ecosystem that you have, and then building those relationships with carriers and giving them the opportunity to kind of build their companies too. So
Yeah, it's and I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, it's not about us, it's about the carrier, right? And the owner operator. So Uber Freight would be nothing without capacity, right?
Correct.
We're here today at MATS, or this weekend at MATS, to show our commitment to the owner operator and the carrier community, number one.
Mhm.
And number two, we're trying to get the message out ultimately that we have to figure out how to collaborate together to make it a win-win situation. If it's broker carrier relationship and we knock down 25%, yeah, we're happy, we're making money. But if the carrier doesn't reciprocate and feel like they're winning, the two don't go hand in hand, right?
There'll always
And
be adversarial in some.
yeah, there's going to be a conflict. So I think with this power only solution, if we can combine the two together and create the symbiotic relationship, use AI as a tool, use some of the the different technologies that Uber is developing on our side, partner with companies like Optimal Dynamics, etc. I think we can do some pretty crazy things, right?
Agreed.
So what's your ideal carrier to partner with on the Power Loop solution? Is there specifics that you're looking for?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I don't know if there's a perfect answer to that.
Right.
I would say this. I would say that we're trying to build this around the owner operator.
Okay.
Right. So if you look at the owner operator world, not as the owner operators don't have as much as many resources as like a large carrier.
That's define owner operator, because many times that's got a couple different titles to it. So I mean, owner operator meaning an independent contract, someone that has their own authority, small number of trucks.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
yeah, like 1 to 5 trucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. 1 to
All
5 trucks. They have their own authority.
The long tail capacity.
The
Yep.
long tail
Yeah.
capacity.
Okay.
Right.
So we're on the same page there.
Yep.
So
I think that's kind of the ideal situation. Hey, now you can do business at these large shippers that have drop capabilities
Mhm.
that you just can't afford to. You don't have enough capacity to kind of handle, right? So it gives owner operators access to that. But at the same time, we also need large carriers as well. So like owner operators have optionality. They can do whatever they want, right? We can't force them to do anything that we have. We can just give them solutions and they can either take them or not, right? So we partner with larger carriers as well. So like, we have to provide service to shippers, right?
Yep.
It has to happen. Otherwise, we're not going to have any freight to give them.
Mhm.
So we also partner with some larger carriers, create more of that stability through dedicated tours.
sure.
So it's finding the right mix between the two, right? And that's what we're trying to figure out. I don't think there's a perfect formula for it. And then it kind of once you get that kind of figured out, then it's what kind of mix of freight can you handle. Like an owner operator, they're used to going on DAT or various load boards and making the decisions for themselves, which is fantastic. That's what they do, right? So there has to be kind of a mix of contracted freight on our trailers. There has to be a mix of spot loads, and there has to be a mix of contracted, maybe not on our trailers. So like we look at our entire ecosystem of freight and we optimize all of it, right? But we also have some optionality where they can go outside of our world and do things, not under the Uber Freight umbrella. Why? Because they're not our trucks. They're
Right. They've still gotta
independent
be
business
So
owners.
you allow them to utilize that trailer asset for a specific period of time.
Yeah, potentially. Right. We can rent it out. There's all kinds of different rabbit holes you can go down with that.
Right.
But ultimately, I think the most important thing is making sure if you're an owner operator you have the ability to make the decisions what are best for you and your business. We are just a tool and a network that you can tap into to help accomplish the goals that you're set for, whether you're a 1 truck owner operator, a 10 truck small company, or a 500 truck larger carrier. So I think there's kind of a role for everyone in that.
So when Uber Freight made the Transplace acquisition, a lot of people were questioning whether I was going to move or not. And one of the things I said first, like right away, was it's potentially great for power. So you got all this managed trans, like and so like also now you can infuse all these assets into it, that then you can combine those networks. Have you all seen that network effect and start to see the benefits of that now a couple years later?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I would start out with just to be kind of really clear. There's like this huge wall between the managed side of our business and our brokerage. So it's really kind of 2 different businesses in one,
Sure,
right? It's under the Uber umbrella, Uber Freight umbrella, obviously. But I would say that there's a huge wall. I would also say that we're a capacity provider and a service provider.
Right.
We want to get included in those bids, right?
Yep.
But we also have to prove ourselves in the sense that, hey, we have to make sure that the shippers that participate in that world understand that we're an asset player. And number 2, we have to provide high service, right? So we're just like a carrier. So to get into that world, you have to sell through normal channels.
Right.
It's not just given to us.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important distinction because sometimes like shippers on that side of the business, these guys have access. No, I can tell you firsthand that wall is thick.
And the wall has got 10 feet higher.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's but I think the biggest thing for us is really kind of differentiating ourselves as we're not just a broker, we're a carrier.
Yeah. And it gives you a massive capacity play. And if you can prove yourself out as being reliable through this as well, which it will happen.
Oh yeah.
This is a tool that just is exponential capacity. And there's a lot of owner operators out there that want this. So
There are
absolutely a lot of want. They want consistent business. They want a solid partner. And I know this because when you maybe made a post that maybe didn't stay up very long a couple of weeks ago, and I specifically targeted a couple of customers of ours that were smaller fleets and said, you need to get a hold of Jeff and start talking to him on these things. There are 20 truck fleets, but this is a great core piece of business for a 20 truck fleet. I know you may be targeting a 5 truck fleet, but there's a lot of 20 truck fleets that are running around hauling 70% spot market. And why this is still a broker relationship, it's a good broker relationship.
I think so. In the more capacity that comes in, the more we're going to be able to leverage rates. Right. And and the more we can, the more capacity again, leverage rates, and we can leverage service. Right. We can provide service that others don't. Right. So it's going to be really important to kind of block and tackle correctly on this.
Yep.
To your point, it's infinite in how well it grows. But at the same time, everyone's got a challenge right now with rates. This market, Nate, we've been in this a long time,
Right.
And the last 3 years, it's probably been the worst freight recession ever.
Yeah.
Right.
All time.
Not probably. I think
It
it's definitively
Yeah.
the worst that it's been in our career, which is half of the time since deregulation, and no one can say it's ever been worse. I mean, it's absolutely the worst.
Yeah, there's always like a year, but not like three
Not
consecutive
3
years.
plus at this point. Doesn't seem to be getting any better, and I don't think it's gonna. So
Yeah, so like people come to me and like, well, it's all about the rate. Well, if you're chasing one rate, we give you the flexibility to do it,
Sure.
right? But it's not just about one load. It's about making sure that you have consistent daily revenue production. Like an example I always give, like you could make $100 an hour and be like, oh, I'm making so much money. Life is fantastic, right? Well, if you only work 1 hour a week,
Right. Yep.
versus a guy that makes $20 an hour,
Or 80 hours a week.
yeah, it's who's going to pay the mortgage, who's going to pay the car payment,
Right.
right? Yeah, the rate per mile is fantastic, but you still have overhead that you have to cover. So, we're a tool to help cover overhead. And then when the market, the way that we pay, it's a percentage pay model, right?
Okay.
You see that with the other big players.
Sure.
Yep.
There's a reason that happens, right? So when the market's bad, it protects the person providing the freight, right? Yeah, rates are bad right now. Like I was looking at DAT rate view. I think January was like $2.15 a mile.
Yeah.
Then it went to like $2.13 a mile. Then March, $1.99.
Right.
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Well,
So it's a reflection of the market. Now, the one thing I'll also say, like when you're at a big carrier, right? And I think the frustrations are, when the market starts heating up, our rates aren't moving quick enough. What's pricing? What's sales doing?
sure.
Right?
Right.
They're 9 months behind the 8 ball. Well, with this, Uber Freight does so much spot freight every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's an incredible amount. When the market churns, guess who's going to get the rate?
Right. Yeah.
Owner operator.
Yeah. Absolutely. They're going to see it first.
They're going to see it first.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So it's an interesting kind of it's just a different problem, right?
You stay ready, so you gotta get ready.
Yeah, but it's fun, man. It's like I'm a kid in a candy store on this thing. It's like I see this stuff, I'm like, what else can we do? And people have to say, Jeff, slow down. Let's I'm one of those guys. So
So Jeff, appreciate you coming on. We're gonna have to bring you on again sometime soon for probably a whole episode somewhere down the road here.
yeah,
soon.
absolutely.
Chat
Just
and,
talk
just
shop.
trucks.
And then how do people get a hold of you?
I tell you can go to the Uber Freight website.
Mhm.
That's probably the best way to do it. And just go through your normal carrier channels. So if you're set up in the system, get with your carrier rep. They will contact us, and then we'll get you up and running. If you're not set up with Uber Freight, go through the channels, uberfreight.com. You'll go through the onboarding process, and within a week or two, we can get you up and running.
Awesome.
How do folks get a hold of you?
Come over to my house and hang out in my front door.
Perfect. All right.
Well, we'll
Find me
see.
out.
I'm kidding. Don't do that. Please, I'd rather you not do that.
So you had the beer garden, so you're good.
Yeah,
man. Like,
Yeah, I'm at the beer. If
Beer
you guys are at the Mats, I'm at the Uber Freight tent is at the beer garden. So from 2 to 4 today, free beer. I think tomorrow. I think is the same.
Love that.
And just hit me up on LinkedIn.
Yep, we got your name up on the podcast right now.
Send me a
Jeff,
message.
hit him up on LinkedIn.
I'm sure if something gets blocked or something gets screwed up, Nate will certainly direct you my way. But
Let me know if you're trying.
one last thing. For all the owner operators and carriers out there, I tell you what, you guys have one of the hardest jobs in the world. And these last 3 years have just been disastrous for everyone.
Right.
Just brutal. Just know that we appreciate everything you guys do. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that, being on the other side of the freight machine. But this country and this industry wouldn't be anything without you guys. So I really appreciate everything you're doing. And what a better way to celebrate than coming to Matt's and hanging out with all of you. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks,
Love what you said.
Thanks for
Yeah, thanks for coming
Appreciate it,
on.
guys.
So we'll swing over and grab a beer sometime here real
All right.
soon.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys.
All
See you
right,
later.
Thanks for coming
See
on, Jeff. Oop, wrong one. All right, next up we have Jason Chaplin. Jason is with Master Fleet National. He's the president of Master Fleet National.
El Jefe.
El Jefe. So as that was coming up, we had a question. Have we seen the Scania yet? It looks amazing. I have not had a moment to walk this floor.
Yeah,
so,
I've either been sitting in the booth talking to people or going to the bathroom.
Yep. I have not had a chance to walk the floor. So we'll get out there. We'll get some pictures. We'll get them out there. Hey, Rob, have you seen the Scania on the floor yet? You have? Is it awesome? Okay, all right. Well, logistics lounge guys, they'll put. No, we're good there. We're good. No,
You're good.
no, the camera.
Yeah, the camera. Yeah, turns up.
Oh, well, yeah. Go back. Sorry. All right, you're good. Okay, that's acceptable. So, all right,
We'll
Jason.
do it live.
Jason, appreciate you coming on. The key here is to hold that mic up close to you.
Yep. So I got right here.
All right, how's that?
That's perfect.
Oh,
perfect.
radio voice up with it. Love it.
So, Jason, you're the president of Master Fleet National, correct?
I am. Yes.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. We have not met you at this point, right? We're familiar with your organization. We've had a number of conversations with your organization, and you guys reached out, asked to come on the show, and so why don't we start out? Tell us a little bit about Master Fleet National. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so Master Fleet National, we consider ourselves a fleet solutions provider. We have our biggest part is the over-the-road breakdowns, maintenance. And then we also do kind of like a third-party director of maintenance as well for smaller to mid-sized fleets that maybe can't afford a director of maintenance themselves. We do training as well. We train directors of maintenance as well as other companies with industry stuff. So, yeah, whatever the industry kind of calls for solutions, that's where we think we fit in coming up with ideas. Finding, the right partner. Maybe it's not us, but somebody else that matches with a customer's need.
So really the focus is on keeping the trucks moving, but it's making sure that they are operating and doing what they're supposed to do. So when the time comes, they can get loaded.
Yeah, whatever we can do to lower maintenance costs and uptime for the drivers, try to help trucking companies make money, save money in whatever areas we can help with.
So your target customers, what's their demographics and size? Are they typically larger fleets, smaller fleets, all of the above?
Pretty much all the above, but our main target is probably that mid to upper mid size fleet. We have an owner operator program as well, so we want to try to help anybody we can with some sort of solution.
It's kind of like that 40 to 500 power unit type.
Yeah, 40 to 150, probably
Okay.
right in that range.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful.
Great. And so how does that typically work then? Are you replacing maintenance, or you're putting in all of the shop personnel? Kind of explain to me how your solution works. So if I'm a 200 truck fleet and I'm struggling with my maintenance program, maybe I have shop mechanics are hard to hire. So maybe I've got 3 or 4. Oh, that's probably not accurate. Maybe I have 15 mechanics today, and they're great guys. I want to keep them employed, but I'm struggling to manage them. I'm struggling. I'm a sales guy, so I own 200 trucks. So I come and I chat with you guys, and I say I need some help. So I need some help running my shop. I need to run it better, and I need somebody to run the whole maintenance program. How would you approach that type of solution today? How would that work for you?
Yeah, so we would come on site, meet with anybody and everybody we can, understand where the shortfalls are, where the improvements can be, understand the shop layout, parts, what are they keeping, what shouldn't they be, if they're overstocking certain things, where are the areas that you can maybe cut costs with mass purchase of parts that you're going through a lot. And each one is individual to the company. So it's really understanding where those opportunities are for that company to save money. And we can go in at any level, from becoming the overall director of maintenance, which we have a customer. We run their shop and help them with hiring, help them with schedules, shop layout, what parts to have on stock, tire programs, all those type of things. And then there's other ones where we get in there and they're doing a pretty good job, and we just maybe put together a couple campaigns that we can help them execute. And maybe it's a 3-month deal, and then we leave it to them to manage going forward. So again, our goal is how can we help Is it long-term, short-term solution? So yeah, it would really just be going in there, spending time with people and understanding where those opportunities are.
Awesome. So when you are talking to fleets, what do you typically find? Are you typically find that they are operating pretty well, or there are some pretty big gaps? What are some of those big gaps you're typically seeing? Good system.
Yeah, so typically what happens, what we see is most companies compare themselves to last year.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we're doing better than last year, which is great, right? Any improvement's good improvement, but based on industry standards and where the industry is, where are you? We collect data from all of our customers. We don't share it with anybody, but we obviously use that, and we try to use age bands on tractors, trailers, figure out where their spend is and where do they sit. And then we'll try to lay out a playbook of, what's the easiest things that you can grab. And I would say tire programs are usually the ones where, folks aren't probably doing everything that they can with, capturing recaps and the money that comes along with that, or, how they're rotating tires, whatever their overall program is. It's usually a pretty low-hanging fruit. Parts is another one, overstocking parts that become obsolete.
Sure.
And they just have them in their parts room. It's time to get rid of those and clean it up and stock the parts you need.
Right.
Those things should be coming in and out and just going through. So those are probably two big ones. Shop layout, right? Technicians, as you said, it's hard to find technicians. And the more that you can have them not wasting steps to go get tires, or example, we had a customer that had their tire bin, it was 100 yards away from their shop.
Yeah.
So every time that technician was walking out there to get a tire, having a smoke break.
Yeah.
So we
which is very conducive to carrying tires 100 yards.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they're rolling these tires 100 yards. So we just said, hey, if you move that tire location right next to the shop. So they picked it up and moved it. Right. It's a little thing, but you're paying those technicians a lot of money not to walk around and get their exercise.
Right. Makes sense.
So there's a gentleman online that just said Joey Cobbs. Does that name sound familiar?
Joe.
Yeah. So Joe says great experience working with Master Fleet.
Gotta love that. What a recommendation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Joe came and worked with us a few years back. He's very successful at a very large trucking company now. It's great staying in touch with folks that come through working for us and have success afterwards. Yeah, great worker, great guy.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. I think we've talked a number of times with your organization, and it comes into alignment with a number of things that we do at GLCS. We help companies with a lot of their technology, but we don't necessarily align on the shop side as far as assisting with the maintenance per se, but sometimes with the technology that supports the maintenance solutions. So just kind of walking down some of these things, what's your opinion on the technology, or not necessarily just the technology? I guess I'm going to take a different pivot on this. So let's talk about technicians and training and the difficulty with that. I kind of alluded to that before, but let's go down the technician route and kind of how you see that, what the line of technicians are. It's one of the more difficult roles in the industry to fill and retain. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, my overall thoughts, in general, on more of the technical jobs, whether it's the technicians like we're talking about, or even, plumbing and all of those things, the trades.
Yeah, any of the trades.
I personally think we're going to see a big swing back. The amount of money that's out there for young people to go to a trade school, get, a 2-year degree and come out of college while you're working and debt-free, making $60K easily.
I mean, your son's going.
Yeah. My son's in school right now to be a diesel mechanic. So
my youngest son's looking at it as well.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I mean, before, nice for us. We live up in Wisconsin, so there's a lot of farmers.
Mm-hmm.
So we typically, went out and looked for farm kids,
Sure.
because they're used to working with their hands and they're hard workers.
Yep.
But yeah, I think you're seeing a swing back. I know, we've been involved with our local technical college up in Green Bay, putting together
Go,
a tractor
Paco.
and yeah,
I don't know, man. That's
putting together.
I'm from the Minneapolis area.
How was that first round?
So yeah. We'll just continue on. with
Yeah,
this.
sorry. I get a chance to talk smack. I do it.
Yeah, so I think you're seeing more. Our former sister company, Master Fleet. I know that they're still heavily involved in the local technical colleges. Trying to help those programs, build so that the young people are coming out and they're ready to hit the workforce. Some of our partner vendors, I know have different opportunities as well. I saw one they have a mobile trailer that they go around and teach their technicians. It was mind blowing how great it was. It's a classroom inside of a trailer. Yeah, it was really cool to see. So, I think everybody's making the right effort, and I think we'll see a swing back. It's you see these things go up and down. Same thing with the the nurses and things like that.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see where it goes. And really infuse the industry with young talent.
I agree. I think as we're seeing it to some extent already. It's just young talent. It's going to take a decade to get there. So, I mean, there's a lot of need right now, and then there's going to be a lot of young talent that comes in, but we need senior talent. We got to wait for that young talent to become senior. So, and then it's a cyclical thing. I don't think we've experienced this lack of staffing. So, that's the problem. So,
yeah, and you're seeing it at the high levels too, and that's why we have that program of being a director of maintenance. There's just not enough director of maintenance skilled people that haven't retired yet.
Right.
There's a lot of great people that have skill sets to become good. They just need that help and direction to get them there.
Absolutely. So Jason, what are you looking for here at MATS? I mean, are you guys walking, or are you?
Yeah. So I had a couple of vendors that are partners of ours that we work with that I just wanted to meet with, continue to build our relationship, see if there's anything that we can do to help them or vice versa. Really just building relationships. There's, some trucking companies that are here as well. Just seeing what they're doing for their maintenance needs and if there's any way we can help. But yeah, for the most part, just walking around, making connections, getting to know people.
Sure. Making new friends.
Making new friends.
Yep,
Fair enough.
exactly.
Fair enough. So
how do folks get in touch with you?
By just going to our website, masterfleetnational.com.
And then you personally, LinkedIn, like that? Or?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Lance Zimdars, which is our salesperson as well,
Cool.
is on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Awesome.
So perfect. Anything else in parting that you can think of at this point, or?
No, I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Same
Look
with you.
forward to staying in touch and seeing what we can do.
Got a card there for you
All
too,
right.
since just meeting you, and I'd reach over and shake your hand, but we'll catch up with you hopefully.
That's what you're
before the
weird.
end of
Red
the
truck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might get caught in the beard.
I don't get that close to you. It's weird things happen. Weird happen.
Well, you never know. My French fry might fall out.
My shirt is staying on. Everything is fine.
So far, you said already it's come up.
When I changed shirt, yes, I did.
So
that's the thing. If you didn't know, my shirt comes off at almost all these shows for some inexplicable reason.
All right. Well,
there's video proof.
Yes.
The whole world's seen it.
Yeah, we seen it. We seen it.
It's crazy. But,
Awesome, man.
all right. Well, Jason, I appreciate your time. Anything we can ever do for you, let us know. We'd love to have you on again sometime down the road and have a deeper conversation. But these things always end up not having enough time to them. And we've got our next guy lining up. So,
all right. Well, yeah, appreciate it.
Cool.
We'll see you guys later.
All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Oh, boy. Here we go with the next one.
Now we got the one, the only, Mr. Todd Waldron.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going
How
on?
are you?
Hey,
All
brother.
right, we're gonna
You're risking that arm.
yeah.
No.
You're risking the arm.
And this isn't the surgery repaired one, so like, at least this one
Yeah.
have a chance.
Oh, yeah.
You
Left
get
side.
the chance. Yeah. This one you got the chance. That one only lifts like, thousands.
Except this one doesn't turn, so like there is really a
Yeah,
chance.
okay, fair enough. So that one you can't move. The other ones can.
Yeah, this one's a little stronger.
So fair enough. Fair enough. So Todd, we know who you are, but why don't you tell everyone else who you are? Even though you've been on a couple of times here and there, but we've never actually had you on for a whole episode yet.
It's true. That should change here pretty soon.
Well, it was gonna change, and then there was some changing.
There was some change.
There was some changing, and now the change is stabilized. So we'll have to do the whole episode at some point coming up. But and then he signs up for the freight movement event, and I'm like, well, hey, I guess you got to come on for the interview too. So that worked out. But so tell us about yourself, Todd. What's going on? Where are you now?
Yeah, absolutely. So Todd Waldron, last time was at the Minnesota Trucking Association annual conference when I jumped on. Had been running a trucking company and brokerage out of Minnesota for the last 5 years, and worked for a couple other Fortune 500 companies prior to that. But I just joined Truckstop about 6 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So now Vice President of Carrier Experience, really focused on trying to get a handle on and understand the carrier at a deeper level and how carriers interact with Truckstop and the ecosystem, and look at how can we continue to provide value and grow our value with them and innovate in different ways for the carrier. So it's been a super wonderful organization to join. Now celebrating 30th anniversary this year. So
wow.
Very long-standing foundation, great organization that I've obviously been familiar with, been a customer of.
Yeah, say it right.
Everybody listening has been.
Absolutely.
So,
So it's cool to be on the other side and be a part of just innovating and developing new solutions to really help the carriers and help brokers and help the two come together in a trusted environment.
It's got to be interesting to get that feedback from carriers. Because, like, listen, like every technology solution isn't perfect. Certainly, folks will have their concerns with the various load boards and capacity providers. Like, talk a little bit about that. Like, just that getting to that very grassroots, like carriers telling you, like, I like this, I don't like that, and probably not as polite sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and just in communication, it helps to have so much experience talking to drivers, working with drivers, interacting with drivers, whether that was as a broker or as leading an organization with 115 drivers, and just having friends that are drivers. And so understanding their work life is the foundation of that. And then two is, stepping into those conversations with a listening ear and an understanding ear, and knowing that you can't be all things to all people, but understanding what are those things that are strengths of ours, and how do we continue to lead with those, and then what are the opportunities for us to improve and get better, and where can we close that gap, whether it's a people, a process, or a technology thing that we can focus on and improve the way that their life has now evolved. There's so many things impacting the driver, and there's so many technology solutions out there. It's like their role continues to evolve, and so we want to be that place that gives them that trusted foundation. But it's great. I love all conversations, no matter the method in which feedback is communicated. I welcome and desire that feedback, and then seek to understand the why behind it. One of the things I always look at is ask why 5 times, and try to understand, okay, what's deeper here? Because often feedback is someone is saying one thing, but ultimately there's something at a deeper level that might be a root cause or something that we can look at differently or understand differently. And so I'm always seeking to understand that, and when I hear feedback, and work through it. So
now, did that role exist previous to you?
It did not.
It did not.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the new role.
Now, is your purview just the Truckstop's ecosystem, or are you looking beyond Truckstop and kind of the whole driver lifestyle and everything?
Yeah, I'd say the primary purview is Truckstop, our ecosystem, whether that's paid interactions that they're our customer on, or unpaid, even such as RMIS, where the broker might be the paid customer, but yet the carrier has an experience in that where they're interacting with the system to onboard with a broker.
Right.
And so we want to understand that and say, how can we best serve carriers no matter how they're interacting with Truckstop. But I'd say it goes beyond that, and understanding from an industry perspective, what are the issues impacting drivers and carriers, and what can we do to support them directly through our services and our product, or indirectly through the things that we're doing and advocating for and speaking out for as an organization.
Interesting. Yeah, I think there's a ton of things that we encounter that are adjacent. It'll be interesting. I think we'll open the dialogue and keep that dialogue open, even though it may not impact you. I think there's things that there's so many things that flow through Truckstop because of the volume of business that touch it. That I think it can have an impact to, and potentially can do better, but it maybe doesn't realize it just can impact. There's potential impact there, or influence. I think that's probably that's the word that I'm looking for. It can influence the industry because it changes something.
You're an influencer now.
Yeah. He's always been an influencer.
That's true. That's not wrong. That's not
A little more passive than Bainer over here.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear that Truckstop's taking that position.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's good. And you're what, about 90 days in roll, or just
45.
6 weeks last
Oh, 6 weeks. Okay. So gotcha.
I'm getting to the point where I'm losing track. So it's about
fair
5
enough.
weeks.
Yeah. You still have to look at your sheet for all your passwords and everything.
And is this the first major event then?
So I was at TCA last
You were.
week, Truck
Yep.
Carriers Association last week.
There.
Yep.
All right.
And Matt's this week, and then TIA in 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
So,
All right. Well, we actually won't be at TIA, so that'll be the first event that we won't be at.
I'll be there in spirit.
Okay.
So, yeah. We're running out of runway.
Oh,
So
yeah?
It's we got too busy. So
This-
it's
Oh, my
there's
word.
Griggs.
Oh my gosh.
He made it. Happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday, Trey Griggs.
was it
Happy
65? 65?
birthday to you. We got his birthday cupcakes here. Yeah, put them on in.
Put on in there.
So
Beautiful.
That's
great.
he turned 60 yesterday.
Right.
So,
Yes.
at least
We got the beard then.
60 months. Yeah, fair enough. So, but, yeah.
There you go. Get the ARP card. You ready to go?
So, yeah. Well, it's we read the post and we said, Misty's like, we need to get Trey a birthday cupcake. Yeah, well, we'll get you. We've got time because the logistics lounge guys are going at 3:45, so we'll bring you on after Todd.
Perfect.
So, or there's a seat.
Get him in. He's
there's
skinny
a
enough.
seat right here. So we'll
But-
scoot off.
I can understand why you're not going to TI. This thing will wear you out for probably 2 months. This is absolutely amazing.
This is a mod.
This
Are you-
I've never been to Matt.
It's your first match.
Yeah.
It is, and what's crazy is it is a little contracted compared to what we've seen in previous
Oh,
years.
really?
For a few reasons, like the OEMs kind of changed how they were presenting. So really, you don't see a lot of it. You see Kenworth, but not Peterbilt.
Yeah.
Don't let them see Freightliner here. You've got Mac is here. So, which is cool. It's awesome. But what's really nice is like now a lot of these smaller type of booths
Except for me.
are center stage. Because these types of booths that we're in right now, we would have been all the way off really in the paddocks. And same thing with like the driver recruiting. So it's super cool that this gives people center stage. So it creates a different experience for yourself in your first time. And for attendees, because now they're seeing a lot more of the culture of trucking versus like, hey, like big machines, which are cool. They're all like the trucks are awesome.
Yep.
Cannot wait to see the beauty show outside. Like already see some of the trucks pulling in, but really you see like trucker culture a lot more, which really, as I think about Matt's and specifically like your role, that's where it's celebrated. There's so many trucker culture.
Yeah,
that's super dope.
It's so true.
And we've got Trey here.
Now we have Trey.
Oh,
So-
God.
Now we can get started.
What?
What's
What?
I think
What is
I had
happening?
a lot of helium. It was really great. It was right before I got on. I took a bunch of helium balloons. I didn't think it would actually work, but it worked. I want to hear what that's like on the replay.
What is happening right now?
Yeah, what button did you push?
None of them.
I thought he was being pranked. I thought Nate did it on purpose. By the look on his face, he's got
I
no
honestly
idea.
don't
Hey,
know.
I don't mind rolling with it. I just totally went with it.
Yeah,
That's
it's been a
pretty
while.
funny.
Yeah,
That was literally, that was helium balloons. That's legit.
this is amazing.
That was a great look on your face when you looked up. You're like, what is wrong with this guy? What is he doing?
So I seriously don't know.
That's
Okay,
great.
everything.
Whoops. Check. 1, 2.
It's not. I don't know what's going
That's
on.
the best blooper
That's awesome.
ever.
That's good.
Play it again. So good.
I don't know.
Well, hey, listen, thank you for the birthday wishes, for the cupcakes. I have to tell you a funny story. So, is my mic not working?
You sound
Check. There we go. Okay. All right.
There's
So,
Trey's real voice.
funny story. Oh, so you were still hearing the?
Yeah.
Oh, it got normal than mine.
No, we had the album of Chipmunk the whole time.
That's awesome. That's so great. All right. So my birthday was yesterday.
Old
Tuesday night we're at dinner, and my oldest daughter says, "Hey, what are we doing for Dad's birthday?" And my wife, literally without missing the beat, says, "When is it?" I was just like, "Oh man!"
Wow.
And my daughter's like, "It's tomorrow." And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" But I guess we're 47 now. Our kids are like upper teenage, high school years. I guess when your schedule gets a little chaotic, you forget stuff like that. It happens. So no harm, no foul. We got to go to dinner last night. It was great, but it was a pretty comical moment at
That's
dinner table with the
hilarious.
family, and she just was totally legit, just had no idea.
That's
So-
amazing. I love that for you.
Yeah, and
Well, to be fair, you've had a lot of them, so like,
yeah, I mean we've celebrated about 25 together, roughly, something like that. Married for 20 years and friends for a while, so and she's and by the way, I give her credit because even before we were dating, she was so good at calling me on my birthday every year. She was that kind of person. So we can let this one slide. Not that big a deal.
I suppose.
Yeah, it's been worse. We've had worse.
fair enough. It's what it is. So, not everybody's perfect.
I want to go
I mean,
back
I
to this one.
am.
Can we
I'm
put this
sure
one back to- I want to go back to this
Is that? I'm not hearing it, but I'm excited for whatever you're
Oh,
hearing.
this is so funny.
This is great.
We'll just let it ride.
Yeah, so
We don't have that long.
Let it ride.
we'll do it live.
Yeah.
Like thing sucks. Hey Todd, congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Appreciate it, man.
How long has it been?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Is it hard to make serious answers?
Yes.
When you hear it like this?
really is.
It's a professional interview, everybody.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, and what are you focusing on in your day-to-day responsibilities over there at Truckstop?
You guys didn't coordinate your questions good enough.
No.
You bring in the chipmunk.
Yeah, we brought it
You
in.
guys already talked about this?
Yes,
So I want to know.
So he's
If you'd like to learn more, go to truckstop.com.
No, so I'm
That clip
focused.
is top tier. That is so good.
I'm focused on the carrier experience across the Truckstop ecosystem. So how do we continue to provide value and innovate through that? But we do, speaking of the booth over at 16160, we got a cash booth, a cash machine. If you sign up for factoring, we got a factoring deal. If you sign up for factoring, we got a cash machine for people to get in, which is pretty sweet. And then we just released some survey results on factoring. 80% of drivers are looking to continue to factor the same amount or more than they have been. Last year's 34% were looking to continue to factor more. And so it
Interesting.
shows that there's this impact on cash flow that the carriers are feeling. And so that was something we're doing. 80%
Wow.
are going to continue factoring or factor more in the
And did
year.
it say how many of the surveyed are currently factored and how many are not?
I don't remember that off the top of my
Okay.
head. I think we got that in the deeper statistics. Yep.
How about now?
Put it back to the other one.
It's Bain pushing buttons.
Don't
You
you,
and your damn buttons.
don't you put that evil on me.
I saw him
It
do it.
was this button. I
That-
just figured it out.
That's awesome.
He's going to do it again.
I know.
Oh,
He
boy.
just won it. He just won it so bad. I know.
I'm with you.
See, Alvin and the Chipmunks said it.
Figured it out. Oh,
I'm not hearing what you're hearing. I'm just getting.
here, now you'll hear it.
What's the no?
Oh,
No,
this
no.
is wild.
I'm not getting it.
All right.
No.
All right.
It's only Mike
But I'm
one.
glad to entertain.
It's
Happy
only Mike one.
You know what I gotta- you see what I got to deal with here?
Just
So,
pushing
all right.
buttons.
So
See what
Todd,
Hire this
what
guy.
So Todd, what booth is that at again? What booth number?
16160.
16, and it's on the very far end, the north end
Yes.
of this building. And if you sign up for factoring, you get cash.
Yep.
Like
you get a chance to cash. You can jump in the
You
cash.
chance cash machine, you get the cash, and then we count the cash and put it on a gift card for you, the same amount that you got.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's we got a factoring deal with a 2.99%, I believe it is. So we have a discount on that, and then also a load board discount for signing up for the load board. You get a demo, and you get a custom T-shirt on site. We're printing T-shirts over there, so you come watch the demo.
Could I get a Strongest Man Logistics T-shirt?
Yeah, you come watch a demo. Well, we can't write Strongest Man in Logistics because
But
I
we-
have that title, and they won't give it just anybody.
First of all, wrong. And these are terrible lies being spread on the internet by Todd.
I just heard a call out.
I heard a joke. I heard a joke.
Honestly, Todd,
Yeah.
I've seen your calves. You're not outlet.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just say my favorite thing about the match show is how family friendly this is?
Yes.
I love seeing the kids walking around with their
The
parents,
dogs.
It's a
the
great
dogs. Like, I love that.
strollers.
This is one of the only shows that I can think of where that is normal. That is
And
common.
highly encouraged.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
ton of dogs.
I remember.
Oh my
I
God,
remember.
the best town.
I remember Lindsay Trent brought her daughter to Women in Trucking a couple years ago.
Yep.
And that was cool, but she was literally the only one.
Right.
I just love the fact that it's it's just common for kids to walk around with their dad as a truck driver. I met a family last year, drove all the way from California in a truck, 3 kids and a wife, drove all the way here in the truck.
Wow.
But it's like it's just family.
And,
I don't
and, and that's what we talked about earlier as you were getting dogging, Trey, is that, this is the celebration of trucker culture.
Yeah.
It's really what matters.
It really is.
And it's super cool. And to your point, introducing this to the younger generations, because what we need, we do need young drivers.
Yeah.
And so you got to explain to them, like, this is so much more than just get behind the wheel. And
It's an incredibly honorable profession that really keeps the country going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be one of the most essential jobs out there.
Whether you're driving a truck, you're maintaining them, you're working on different parts that go into trucks, all these things are so
Yeah.
important to
I mean,
to our
diesel
society
techs,
right now.
you know,
everybody,
dispatchers, everybody. That's critical.
Any part of the
except
ecosystem.
for those brokers.
I'll let
He didn't
you
mean that,
say it.
everybody.
You can say it.
Yeah,
I'll
I said
hold
what I
my
said.
tongue. I'll hold my tongue. So, but
Kidding, broker friends.
the whole ecosystem is here too. As you
Yeah.
walk through this thing, I mean, and I love that we're kind of underneath one roof this year. At first, I wasn't sure,
We're not over there with the goats and the
Yeah,
straw and
but there
whatnot.
are goats.
There are goats here.
Here.
There are goats here.
There are goats.
Are there in this building
Yes,
here?
and I have
Yeah,
video
me.
of them.
But other than
did
that,
Are they buying it?
Dude, Todd's just throwing
you
shade,
are
dude.
the
He's just
complete
taking
right.
shots.
I missed that.
Just
I
taking
missed that.
shots. Look at that.
Look at
That's
that.
awesome.
Stay in.
And
Yeah.
it's
Look at those ears.
Look at that. I was that wagon.
The wagon.
was awesome too.
I
So,
mean,
But it is-
I get that a lot.
it's like a conference, an expo, a trade show, everything
A
wrapped
party.
up.
A barbecue.
yeah.
I'm sure we'll see some cornhole at some point.
Yeah. Well, I got the RV here. It's going on out there.
Perfect.
It is.
Yeah,
You
a
got
lot
it
of
in-
stuff going on out there.
Fair enough.
It's great.
Fair enough.
Do we,
So,
do we do battle cornhole? No holds barred.
I don't know.
Man,
Trey's
I'm
very
not sure
nervous.
what that is. Once again, I don't think anything with battle with you sounds like a good idea. So,
The stakes always have to get higher with Robert. They just got to get
Always.
higher.
Always.
That's all. That's how it
Dude,
works.
this is
yeah,
low
yeah,
stakes.
everything gets notched up a little.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything. So doesn't matter what it is, it goes up a notch.
Why not?
Right. So Todd,
Moderation's for cowards.
Todd, how does everybody find you now?
Yes, truckstop.com. And my LinkedIn, Todd Waldron on LinkedIn, and Todd Waldron at truckstop.com for any emails.
I really think the chipmunk version is better.
I
think
agree.
I think we got
Gotta get that on a clip.
I like that.
somebody
I think
do that, please.
I think that's totally good. Yeah.
Please put that out there. Let's
You
have fun with that.
Now that he figured that out, you are going to need to move that board away from Bain.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
not.
It's part of the reason why I give them the board at these things. So I
Bain, just give me the nod when you do it, and I'll say something. Truckstop part.
Okay, we'll do it with the deep voice. And 3, 2, 1.
Truckstop's the number one place to find loads.
God. And I have a response for that, but we're not going to go with that. I'm gonna turn it over to Nate.
that's beautiful.
I could go Truckstop, the number one place to find hot loads.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy. Miss you. Wish you were here.
Oh, my word. I wish I knew how to change which Mike was doing the song because
Yeah.
I know there is a way to do
Because
that.
we got to get Todd on.
I know. Well, I'm wondering.
But he's being quiet right now. So we'll have to
Yeah,
figure
does
that
that
out.
change
He
it at
knows.
all?
He's coming.
No.
I thought his friends were seeing, just walking by.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, well,
gosh, so
their
good.
booth is right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So their booth is right
Even
here.
better. What are you eating over there? What do you got? Shrimps? Oh,
Shrimps.
Oh, hey, that
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
look
Oh,
half
wow.
bad. That
Nice.
doesn't look half bad at all.
I know.
I don't.
I would put that in my mouth.
You know? From the middle of Texas, but I'm starving.
Perfect.
So
Yeah. I'm,
chicken is protein, and that's what I'm gonna eat.
we had breakfast this morning at 7:30.
Yeah, I'm getting
That
pretty
was,
hungry.
that was the extent of our food today.
That's what I would put it in my mouth.
Oh, you would?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll put it in my mouth.
That's what she said.
So
That's what she said.
So Griggs, how was the ride over today?
Oh, man.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, Nate, there's no better way to see the country than behind the panoramic window of a Class A RV.
Yes, I
It's
agree.
phenomenal. I got up at 5 this morning, took off, and got through St. Louis before any traffic. And, man, I was hitting Illinois and the wheat
Ew.
fields,
Gross.
Indiana. It was great. It was beautiful. Loved it. Pulled the Jeep over, got my own spot. It's great. Yeah.
Oh, so you brought the
I
Jeep
brought the
behind
RV
it.
and the Jeep behind it so I
Nice.
could drive around
Nice.
and not be,
Perfect. I was wondering.
yeah.
I figured you'd end up. I didn't think that through, but I figured you'd end up Ubering out of
No,
here.
they got an RV lot here, so I'm literally
Yeah.
right here.
Well, I figured
and
you were
then-
going to do that. And
yeah.
then Uber out of here, but you brought the Jeep.
I
so
could,
you
but
could. Yeah.
I got
No,
stuff. I
what's
got
the point?
boxes to carry, so I
Yeah.
just thought I'd bring.
Yeah.
bring.
No, that's
I hate being limited, so whatever. It's all
Yeah.
good.
so Jeep it up. So,
Yep, orange
uh,
Jeep. If you see it out there in Louisville, everybody, it's probably me.
Well, it's that or somebody else's orange Jeep.
No, I'm the only one.
So fair enough. So all right. Well, what else we got? We got anything else?
We got the BCS in 32
There you go.
days.
There you go.
32 days in Indianapolis with Broker Carrier Summit. I'm so excited. We had the road to the summit today. We had two first timers on the show.
Who?
Maybe no, one first timer. I apologize. We had so Tony Singh was on the show. He's been before. Brad Hollister,
Nice.
and then we had Annalise Sandhu, who is with Chain. Herman
Chain,
Param
yes.
and Kevin Coombs is now over
Yep.
there.
Very cool.
Yep.
And
Very,
they're
very cool.
sponsoring the Iron Minds workouts with Michael Lombard and Nick Klingensmith on Wednesday and Thursday. This is her first one. She hasn't been one before. Tony Singh came in Fort Worth this first time. He's coming back this time. He's doing a learning lab, and he said that this is the best conference he's ever been to from just like the networking standpoint. He said the way that it works and selling. He said he noticed that there was no pressure to sell in Fort Worth because there's no booths.
Right.
So everything
that's always
starts
the
with
case.
relationship,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then it goes to transactions if it makes sense.
Yep.
Whereas with these booths, you walk over, you're trying not to make eye contact because the only
Right.
thing you have is a sales
You're
transaction.
just running through the gauntlet.
And so it was just like confirmation for that, but it was good to have him on there. Brad Hollister was on from Upwell, and they're getting really involved now in the BCS. So a lot of great stuff with that. Still not too late to sign up.
And I
There's plenty of room.
believe there's a bet going, Trey.
There's a bet going, and I think one of these days we're going to hit it. I hope it's this time.
I like to see it.
What was it, 750?
750.
750, and we get to shave Bain's beard on stage
Correct.
right after Shimmy measures his biceps.
Are you?
Yeah, you
putting
should
it
go
on
ahead
line?
too.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay, you're still.
I would do that.
you're still
I'm happy
holding
because the play that I got to do with my daughter is in 3 weeks before, so I can do whatever I want afterwards.
Okay, all right.
So,
This
yeah,
is-
so-
this is an ongoing bet. For like 2 years
750.
now.
Well, about a year. 750. We
only
didn't
a
do it
year?
in Tampa.
Okay.
We started in Kansas City.
Yep. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
made the first announcement in Tampa that if we get to
Yeah,
500.
that's right. That's right. So 750, and we'll do that. And I think this is our best shot so far. To do that. We're already pacing well ahead of Fort Worth.
Yep.
Which is great, and we still got a lot of time left. And again, if you want to sign up, go to brokercarriersummit.com. You can use the coupon code Freight Movement FR8MVMT
You
for
got it.
10% off.
You got it.
I went with yours, not mine. I went with
Yeah, yeah,
yours.
yeah, yeah.
Give you a little
It's my
love here.
show.
I know it's your
use
show.
yours on
I
this.
listen. I look. Game recognizes game. We
Yeah.
understand. I understand this. Much love here,
I
yeah.
got it.
but it's gonna be great.
There's
We also-
so much love. There's the most love.
You know, the reality of it is just show up.
Just show
go
up.
to
That's right.
BCS. I don't
We
care
also
what
have
program you use.
a few, not many. We have a few sponsorship opportunities left.
Yeah.
So if you want a little brand recognition, get your name out there, get your logo out there, and do something fun. We're still looking for a karaoke sponsor. That's new this year, late night karaoke. We've got a couple of others that are available. So if you're interested, reach out to me or send an email to sponsors at
You can literally have
brokercarrysummit.com.
your logo put on my arm while shooting matches. You can have, well, not a tattoo. It's not a
Listen,
tattoo.
the best thing about the BCS is that we can do whatever we want. That's the best thing about it. So,
Correct.
you know,
So Todd Waldron, are you going to broker carry or something?
I'm not signed up for
Oh,
broker
Todd.
carrier, so
Oh, Todd.
Guess what? We can save you 10% right now.
I was just
Todd.
gonna say that.
were you guys talking about sales pitches when you walking by? Was that what you just talking about?
See, we have you captive now.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
You're
right.
literally on leash.
I do have to check it out, and I'm going to use the freight movement.
It
tag.
will be, promise you, unlike any event that you've been to. Like
Can't
whatever
keep up.
everyone else is doing, we're doing the opposite on about everything. Our lunches are super long. We want people to relax and talk and do a lot of cool stuff. Like we just think of what would be the best experience and just try to do that.
And the ties to the history of like supply chain in North America with the venue that we have is going to be super cool. I think that's one of the things I know we can kind of keep it under wraps. I'm going to start talking bits and pieces about it. The venue has a lot of really cool stuff that we're going
It's
to talk
dope.
about. And but again, this all ties back to the origins of the supply chain in North America.
One
So
of
it's
the
super
best repurposed old buildings that's out there.
Real quick. If you got a jet,
I'm
that's
good for
fine.
a little
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know your handler was just saying something. So apparently truck stops.
That's when you know you've made it. When you got a handler
Yeah.
coming by like,
You had somebody else.
we got a schedule here. Next,
So-
what's next?
Yeah, I was just going because we're over time, but
Yeah.
we don't care.
But the
So-
but that Union Station, no, it's really cool because they repurposed the space in a way that's incredible while capturing and keeping the history. There's a taxi stand in the middle of the area. It's just one. We'll just throw one. It's an old like the wood, it takes you right back into 1930. It's so cool. So it's a
That's
really cool
awesome.
facility. You're gonna love it.
What do you have queued up on your karaoke song for the night? Just
Oh
curious.
man, so I've
It's raining, man.
well, I always start with I start with the same one every time. I've got kind of a go-to, and it's
Gotta do the Humpty Hump.
it's Humpty Dance by Digital Underground. I start with that one.
Mine's Run DMC. It's tricky.
That's a great one too.
I don't
That's
know.
a solid one.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? We did karaoke in Vegas. We had like 40 people in this room at karaoke, and everybody was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to watch." A couple drinks in, and everybody's like, "I want to do this." You know?
I mean,
Give me Kelly Clarkson right now.
I'll just throw it out there. I did karaoke in front of everybody.
I mean,
You weren't there. Oh yeah.
No.
Okay, all right.
I did karaoke in front of everybody.
You did like yeah. In front of everyone.
Love you, Trey.
So it's about time. You should come do karaoke.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. You can
That's
do
phenomenal.
Flow Rider.
it's going to be great in Indy because we're
Just
going to be
keep
at
your
the
shirt on.
we're going to be in the speakeasy. There's going to be like 200 people in the room, so it's going to be like a concert venue. It's going to be a blast. Cannot wait. That's going to be at Wednesday,
Speaking
10 to
of
12.
that, Friday night.
Friday night, we've got the Freight Movement BCS Big Road Tour
Right.
hitting the tavern on 4th,
Stop,
sponsored by our
number two.
friends over at Multi-Service Fuel Card. 9 to 12, 9 to midnight. It's going to be great. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to that. These events are tremendous. The one in Indy was just incredible.
Special guest security at the front door. Very excited for that.
Yeah, we had
there you go.
to unfortunately, keep people out. That sucked.
Yeah, in Vegas.
But what a fun problem to have.
We
It's
should-
great.
We're the rumor has it we're going to end up overwhelmed in Louisville too.
I'm not
So-
surprised to hear that. Very
I'm with it.
excited.
I'm with it.
The BCS Freight Movement crew is solid.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
So
it's should be good stuff.
we're selling
So-
T-shirts too for charity. We give money to Truckers Against Trafficking and Reach Across America. So you can get your official Big Road Tour T-shirt, $25 donation, or as much as you want to give.
He was wearing his
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. I'll be
It
wearing
was,
mine
though.
tomorrow
It was,
all day, and I'll wear it tomorrow night.
That was
So
my travel t-shirt.
Yep.
Beautiful.
yep, it's gonna be great.
What time does the party start tomorrow?
9 o'clock after the concert. There's a concert here, and then
Yeah.
shoot right over there. 9 till
Yeah.
midnight. We're gonna have a great time, and then there's gonna be some.
4th Street.
I think there might be some late night karaoke tomorrow night too. There's a bar right across.
Oh, no, there's karaoke there.
There's karaoke there.
There's karaoke
Even
there.
better. Even
What?
better.
But we have choices. We can either do karaoke or we can just have the DJ. We definitely have the DJ. We have the option.
Why would you
of
not do karaoke if it's an option? I don't
karaoke. Well,
understand.
so you were at F3, and we did karaoke at F3, and it was great. It was
Chris
absolutely
Chris Thomas is
awesome.
here.
Right. Chris
If for
Thomas
no
is
other reason, it's to listen to Chris Thomas
there. Fair enough.
sing like that. You put a little Chris Stapleton in his. Oh my gosh, the guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. There's some good
I don't
singers.
know
out
if I can do karaoke without Charlie DeHoney.
I mean, that is gonna be tough.
Every time.
That is going to be tough.
there's
Charlie,
always
we're
a
calling you out, dude. Charlie,
Yeah,
we need
you're not
you.
here. So
There's plenty of flights from Omaha to Louisville.
And then
You know,
going
Charlie would do it. Him and Meshach Weber, they would get on a flight
They just
immediately.
jump on a flight
Yep.
just to
Be
do
there
Oh,
that.
right
yeah,
away.
Meshach is absolutely that guy.
I know.
Totally.
So
First time for Manifest, I was at Manifest.
Yep.
And I said, you should be here. And he was there the next day.
He jumped on a flight the next morning.
You
Yep.
know, it
so
happens.
at Manifest, he actually flew to Florida to speak,
Charlie
and then
did.
flew
Yes,
back.
yeah.
The next,
He went
Yep.
Omaha, Vegas, Florida, Vegas,
it
Omaha.
was, yeah, it was wild.
It's
So,
insane. The guy's a
absolutely
machine.
wild. So,
But it's good stuff.
all right, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
So we're over by 15 minutes. I'm sure Natalia's like going crazy.
Oh, Natalia.
Yeah,
Hi.
Natalia's
Oh, hi, Natalia. Mwah.
It's been
All
a
right.
pleasure, gentlemen.
We appreciate, as always, Todd. We got your socials. Trey, how do people find you?
LinkedIn, obviously, betaconsultinggroup.com.
Ball so hard, everybody want to find him.
Once
Yeah.
again, happy birthday, brother. We'll,
Thanks, dude.
we'll
Thank you.
participate in some cupcakes. We've been eyeballing those.
Don't you wish you were here? Don't
Yeah,
you wish
yeah.
you were
You should
here?
come to Louisville.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right,
Love it.
stay curious, stay informed, keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time, which is tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Tomorrow.
We'll see you then.